and commentary Ashton. And this is our Friday night Smackdown review. I just want to again plug the Discord, the live wrestling discussion channel. You guys, I want to give a special shout out to Alex Foster and Javaris Carter. They are absolutely amazing people. Definitely kept me smiling and laughing throughout SmackDown tonight. There really wasn't a lot to smile and laugh about. We'll be getting to that imminently. We're going to address the elephant in the room because I know if we didn't, you guys certainly would be. But I wanted to thank both Foster and Javaris. You guys are beautiful. And if you want to join our Discord, it's only $3 a month. You can check our Patreon in the description box below. And yeah, I'm telling you, that live wrestling discussion channel, I think, has made every show that we formally review so much better because of the interaction with our audience. You guys are awesome. I just want to give my praise out there, as I've kind of been doing. I'll say this about SmackDown before we get to the, big elephant in the room. A weird episode. Now, weird doesn't necessarily mean bad, but I think this episode was definitely more narrative heavy than match heavy because a lot of these matches were short. Like, a lot of these matches seem to be of a blink if you miss it quality, and even the ones that were quote unquote longer didn't really feel that way. So this is a SmackDown far more driven by segments, promos, etc. And I usually prefer those kinds of shows, if I'm honest, given how well Lucha Underground is done with like vignettes and shows like that in the past. But the thing is, they've always got to be done well. And I'd say for our major players, Edge, Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Roman Reigns, they were done really well. So I think on the whole, I will give this SmackDown a tentative thumbs up, but it was definitely mired by the bad news throughout the night. Ashton, obviously, you know what that is. WWE did another round of releases. 12 people, I think, was the final total. Am I correct on that?
I didn't count them, but you're at least close, if not correct.
Yeah, so let's get into that in our kind of first segment, heat of the night. And I think it's going to kind of be monopolized by this because I can at least say for the show itself, I didn't have any heats of the night. Even things that I don't like Dominic and Rey Mysterio, I will even give their segment credit tonight. It seemed like it could be pointing at potentially a Dominic heel turn because there's certainly tension between him and Rey, even if it's just very slight right now. So let's just talk about these releases. I know you and I were talking before the show. You wanted to go name by name and kind of talk about where they'll end up. But before that, just some preliminary remarks, if I may. I think it sucks. I think WWE is the very worst of capitalism. They are making such a profit, relative to what they'd be saving from these releases. And we're still in a pandemic, by the way, guys. And in fact, if anything, we might be ready to go round two because Ashton told me about a variant, and I saw in the Discord market said it was first found in Peru, and there's probably a case in America that's vaccine resistant. So we're still in the middle of a pandemic, and we may even be getting ready to enter like another stage of it.
The real second wave.
Yeah, the real second wave, which could be utterly awful, again, because it's vaccine resistant. So you're releasing people during a pandemic still, and you've still got that same corporatocracy, that same kind of rightist culture and economic sector being like, but the eviction moratorium can't go on forever. What about the landlord? Somebody on Fox actually said this, by the way. This isn't John being John. And so WWE is like, yeah, really sucks for you guys, but have fun looking for a job. And, God, the wrestling business is in such a weird state right now because I'm not going to go in on AEW. I really don't want to do that. It's not about them. Everybody knows my preferences, but they're hiring a lot of people. ROH is probably going to get some people. So the only bastion here of positivity, even if they're promotions that I don't like, are that these performers have alternatives. But I think it's really shitty that you just straight up said, forget about the reasoning and the bullshit of the reasoning. We knew from the start you were hoarding these people because you didn't really value them. And I mean really value them. The same way that Ashton and I kind of value each other's skill set on this podcast today. You didn't look at each individual performer and be like, this is what you bring to our scheme. You looked at each individual performer and you said, well, we're going to have you so the other person can't. It was a bare numbers game. And it's still
I think there's also kind of a stock market element to it where they tried to buy high and then either build them up higher and sell or let their steam cool off and then sell so that they have nowhere to go and no momentum.
Yeah, absolutely. And, let's also, because you know what, I don't want to talk too much, because I do want to get your thoughts on this. But I do also kind of want to lay the foundation for the reasoning, apparently, at least according to Mike Johnson from BW Insider. And you know what I say about every source, no matter how reputable, wait until all the facts come out, take everything with a grain of salt. But they're saying that big restructuring is coming to NXT, new logo, new lighting, a focus on younger talents, which on its face, that does not sound like a bad thing at all, of course, especially after John Cena's remarks that, like, you got to start pushing these younger guys. Here's the part that worries me the most, just because of the inherent ambiguity in the statement. A different format to the TV shows. Because I can't pin down what exactly they mean by that. So
as long as it doesn't mean we're going back in time to the fucking game show days, I'm open to it.
I'm open to anything. I mean, of course, until I see that it's bad, and of course I'm going to say it's bad. So I guess to hand the ball over to you so people can hear another voice on this. Obviously, you made great points about the releases in the Discord. Again, $3 a month, everybody. If you want to reiterate those here, great. But I want to know, like, how you feel about the possibility of a new NXT and how it, like, kind of feels to you that it apparently had to come at the expense of these talents.
I mean, hell, if it means that we're not going to get any more, 36 plus, 35 plus, even 34 plus year old NXT world champions, I'm down, because that would cross out the title reigns of guys like Cross and Joe and Nakamura and Rude, who I think you and I agree all either sucked as NXT champions or shouldn't have been in NXT in the first place, should have gone straight to the main roster. If that's what this leads to, I'm cool with it. I'm down. It's fine. But if it leads to, like I said, we're going back in time to the fucking game show days where these guys are going to have to fucking chug soda to win a competition, that's bullshit. It's stupid, and I hated it.
Dude, do you ever... How can I put this without sounding like stupid or boomer or whatever? I guess just to ask.
Granted, it would actually, now that I think about it, lowering the age of the people in NXT would also have canceled out Keith Lee's title reign, and I believe Finn Balor's.
Yeah.
So it's not all good. It's got some bad in it.
I see moments like this, and I have to wonder, because it wasn't my era, so I'm don't have any authority, right? In this
I also don't want to spend a lot of time speculating on this whole new direction for NXT when it is exactly that, speculation, with the whole Mike Johnson thing. I would much rather dedicate time to talking about the releases, given that we actually know that that's a thing for sure.
Well, no, we'll get to that in a second, but what I just want to say is, like, I see stuff like this, and I have to wonder if maybe the Monday Night Wars, like, way back, weren't a little bit romanticized, because it's like everybody was hoping WWE would get their head in the game and really show up, and now 12 people, all of varying talents and roles that they could have filled, are gone. So with that segue, let's run down the list. Let's talk about these releases. Who do you want to start with, man?
Yeah, we aren't really saying this directly, but I think in a way there's a part of me, like there's a way bigger part of me that resents Vince and Nick Khan for, like you said, basically just signing these guys just to have them, to keep them away, to play keep away from everyone else. But then there's also a part of me that resents AEW for being the only, like, real alternative. Like, sure, you could go to Impact and lose to fucking Sami Callihan, or, you could try your hand in New Japan, and that could be interesting for some people, for sure. Or you could go to Ring of Honor and work for, fucking corrupt news company. But at the end of the day, AEW is the next biggest game in town behind WWE. Like, we used to talk about, Raw is the first engine, SmackDown is the second engine, NXT is the third engine, and any other company hoping to be number two is actually at best the fourth engine. I think it's safe to say that, like, AEW is kind of the second engine right now. Like, they're kind of the top-rated show on TV right now in wrestling, behind only SmackDown. They've been beating Raw in the 18 to 45 demographic or something like that. So, like, they are legitimately the only viable alternative right now. And they are the ones now that get to pick and choose which one of these releases get to have a job or not.
Yeah. Well, let's go down the list, man. Who do you want to talk about first?
I mean, let's just go in order. Let's just go in the order that Sean Ross Sapp posted them in. So first up, Bobby Fish. I think he's a kind of guy that is valuable to have on your roster, just not a guy you ever really want to feature. And I think NXT has featured him a little too much. This is also the first time that we've ever seen an Undisputed Era member get released. So the Undisputed Era can no longer be reformed.
Yeah, I guess in a way that's a loss if you ever wanted to do the big like reuniting angle like we've seen with the Shield and even DX like a few years prior to that. Bobby Fish, to me, I see him going back to Ring of Honor.
Yes.
But
he'll be their
see it as any
television champion again or some shit.
Yeah, like I don't see this as a loss for NXT at all. If anything, and this is one of the few releases that is addition by subtraction. And I don't feel like it's any net gain for any place that does pick him up, just in my opinion. So yeah, nothing really much to say there. He's
more of a locker room guy. I feel like he's one of those guys that's like just good to have around. You know, he's good at kind of that veteran advice kind of thing, and good guy to get other people over, but not really a guy you want to invest much in. Bronson Reed, though, I think was probably the most surprising release because there were rumors that he was literally about to debut on the main roster, and then that got delayed, and now I guess we know the fuck why.
Yeah, there you go. So,
is that the only commentary you have for Bronson Reed? Just there you go.
Bronson Reed. I see him going back to Japan personally. I don't know.
Was he in Japan in the first place?
I thought he had a New Japan run. Did he not? Maybe I'm misremembering. Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else.
You're not thinking of Elgin, are you?
No, certainly not Elgin. Who's the other guy that's like really tatted up? I think he's even still doing New Japan Strong stuff. That's
Brody
probably
King?
what I'm confusing with. That's him. Yeah, Brody. I think I got those two mixed up.
Yeah, it looks like when he was Jonah Rock, he did compete in 4 matches that were in New Japan, but that was part of like a special Australian tour that they did. So it wasn't actually like competing as a member of the New Japan roster. It was just like special appearances because it was in Australia.
I gotta apologize. I spaced out because apparently there are new allegations against Darby Allin now. Wrestling industry is just fucking awful. Jesus
pretty much.
Oh my God. So Bronson Reed, now that I'm refocused, I could still see him going to Japan if he wanted to do something really different, but it seems like I'm going to say Impact for him, honestly, not AEW. I'm going to say Impact for him.
I think my sort of number one most likely candidate for to go to Impact is also like I think it's Bronson Reed. I think he's the most likely one. I could see him and actually, since we haven't gotten around to her yet, but the other one is Mercedes Martinez. She got released as well. I could see her going to Impact as well. But let's just continue on the list. Jake Atlas got released. We actually had someone in the chat talking about how WWE made a Pride post just a couple months ago, and half of the people that were in that post, there were 4 people in it, and now 2 of them, those being Jake Atlas and Mercedes Martinez, are cut.
Yeah. Damn. I mean, again, people not really being valued as people, at least from where I sit. But Jake Atlas, I could see AEW for him potentially. I really don't know about Jake. I think he's solid in ring. I wasn't really the biggest fan of his. Same with Bronson Reed. But I do think those guys, unlike Bobby Fish, here's the difference. I do think those guys would be a net gain for any locker room that would scoop them up.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking AEW tentatively. We'll see.
All right. I think I would say Impact for Atlas. Ari Sterling, formerly known as Alex Zane, now going to be Alex Zane again, literally responded to Sean Ross, or actually got retweeted by Sean Ross Sapp. He might have even actually responded to him saying Alex Zane greater than Ari Sterling. So he's ready to be out. He might have even requested his release knowing the way he feels now. And I'm guessing he's just going to end up going back into the New Japan system, working New Japan Strong, maybe trying to get a tour of Japan itself with New Japan. We'll see.
I co-sign onto that. I'd also love to see him get in on some PWG shows personally, if that's viable.
He was.
I think
he was working some PWG shows before the pandemic.
Yeah, I think his style is the perfect fit for the PWG aesthetic. So I'm all about that.
Here's the big question for me: Kona Reeves. Because there are some guys on here where they could work anywhere. Kona Reeves, though, is so much more an entertainer than a wrestler from what I've seen.
Yeah, Kona Reeves is an interesting one because
I wonder if he's friends with any AEW execs, because that's the only way he's getting in there.
he seemed like okay in the ring. Although to be honest, it's been so fucking long since we've seen a Kona Reeves match. I might have to reset my opinions. But he definitely seemed like, I feel like there's a character in there that hasn't come out yet. So I'll even say AEW for him. I'd actually honestly be
You
curious.
think he has the
what he'd come
connections
up
to
with.
get in?
Maybe we'll have to see. But yeah,
Apparently, he and Tama Tonga are friends, so I would say almost maybe even New Japan.
yeah. Well, that could be. That's a great point. Actually,
Maybe New
that'd be
Japan
very
Strong,
interesting.
even to keep it simpler.
Kona Reeves in New Japan would be very interesting. Yeah, we'll see.
Leon Ruff is one of the guys I was talking about earlier when I said that a lot of these guys could go literally anywhere, and he's a big one. He's go to New Japan Strong, go to New Japan as a junior, go to Ring of Honor, go to AEW, go to Impact, anywhere. Would be happy to have this guy, and hopefully wherever he goes, he'll be able to work plenty of PWG shows as well.
Oh yeah, let me tell you guys, I actually, and you guys know it on the podcast, I liked Leon Ruff, and it's rare for me to take up for like a baby face of his stature and stuff, because you know those underdogs, I feel like it's kind of overplayed, and when they are done, they're usually not done well. But I actually liked how they handled Ruff, especially when he kind of turned up the aggression a little bit, and really was just like, I'm sick of Swerve shit, all that stuff. Um, then I'll see that guy. Honestly, weird call here by me, but I see him either working some PWG shows, and as far as getting back on TV, I could see him as part of Impact's X division. So I'll say Impact.
I like that. Yeah. That's a good one. Next up, let's talk about. Well, actually, the next name on here is Stephon Smith, and he was a trainer, not a wrestler. So let's talk about Tyler Rust.
This one pisses me the fuck off the
Yep.
most.
Who was, I forget? I think it was Arturo Huas was supposed to be in Diamond Mine, and he got released literal days before Diamond Mine debuted on NXT. And now they've been around for all of a month, not even, and already we've got our first post debut casualty in Rust. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm really pissed off about this, because here's the thing. This is definitively the one that I'm most pissed off about, because the Naomi news was fake, thankfully, because somebody, I guess, was circulating Naomi was released, and I was like, I blew my gasket at that. I was very reactive, and then somebody was like, no, it's fake. So that was a relief. But yeah, how do you fuck this one up? Great look, great theme. And here's the thing. He was in an angle. He was in fucking Diamond Mine with Malcolm Bivens, and those two, personally, I loved how those two played off each other. Diamond and the Rust, all that stuff. This is some bullshit, man. You're looking at potentially a future North American champion, maybe even world champion, because you never know how characters evolve and stuff like that. I really can't say ultimately what this dude's ceiling was, because I really liked what I saw, and now he's gone. He definitely has the look and just the in-ring stuff of, again, either doing maybe several PWG shows while he finds himself, maybe Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor or Impact, I'm going to say again for Tyler Rust, because AEW can't have everybody, and I'm trying to be sensible. So
I think exclusively because of the hype that this dude is going to get when he does show up in PWG, he's AEW bound, in my opinion.
Yeah, I can understand that, man. We'll have to see, but I think
because you've got to realize this dude could literally show up at the next PWG show in September, because the non-compete clause doesn't apply to PWG because it only applies to televised shows, and PWG gets around non-compete stuff by not being televised. So he could literally just show up on the next PWG show, absolutely show the fuck out, have a bunch of offers, and be able to go to AEW if he wants, or maybe even get offered back to NXT. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing too. We don't even know if all these guys are just never gonna come back to WWE, or if it'll be the kind of maybe like a Drew situation where they put in the work a little bit. Because I don't even know how old Rust is. Wasn't he only in his mid-20s? I feel like Rust was very young yet.
34.
Let's
34.
See. Oh wow, so much older than even I realized. Shit.
I mean, that explains the release though. If NXT wants to go in a younger direction.
That's true, but here's the thing. I just a quick comment about that, because
then again, Leon Ruff is 25 years old. What the fuck are you doing at NXT? You're drunk. Go home.
I know you didn't want to get into a digression about the potentially quote unquote new NXT, but I just have to say this.
Oh.
It's cool that you want to focus on younger talent, but the thing is, how are you going to legitimize younger talent unless you have them go over some of the older, more established talent? Like keeping a Reed around to establish some of your younger
That's
guys,
such
I feel
bullshit
like,
too. Dude, Bronson Reed is only 32. Like that's not old by any means. Jake Atlas is only 26. Kona Reeves is only 30 years old. That is like that whole like, oh, they're going for something younger. That does not explain most of these releases. Go fuck that.
yeah. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that, man. It's
Like
such
literally
horse
the only
shit.
releases that would explain away are Mercedes Martinez and Bobby Fish and arguably Tyler Russ, but even that is like a serious gray area because 34 is not that old, especially when this dude is good and his pairing with Malcolm Bivens is main roster ready already.
Oh yeah. Like here's the thing with his conditioning and everything, that's why I'm not really mad about like some of the older guys. Like Finn's in his freaking 40s, but look at the dude. Like, like I
Yeah.
think when you have the kind of physique and the look and everything that a Rust has, like yeah, you hold on to that. That's a fucking asset. So essentially, I can't wait to see him in PWG. Maybe he's AEW bound, but again, I just get another Impact vibe from him. So next.
Well, we had another couple of trainers in Zachariah Smith and Grant, not Grant, Giant Zanhir, I guess it would be. But then the other wrestlers are Asher Hale and Mercedes Martinez. So let's talk about Asher Hale first.
I know we've seen this dude, but I really don't have much to say.
He actually had a
'Cause
match with Ari Sterling on 205 Live, believe it or not.
I can believe that that's where I know Asher Hale from because I think he was more localized to 205 Live.
Yeah.
I really don't have a comment here, man, to be quite honest.
Okay.
Just kind of hurry things
Then
along.
let's just talk about Mercedes.
Again, I've said this before, and I think it's one of the biggest compliments that I could give Mercedes. I've always looked at her as kind of a, the William Regal of women's wrestling, at least, in North America and stuff like that. She's such a veteran. She's so experienced. She's so good that I think you always want to keep her in your back pocket. She can be an in-ring person. She can train the up-and-coming women, in any company. You can kind of give her a dual role. I think she's a woman that could do it all. She could be your heel champion for a little bit and legitimize a young up-and-coming babyface that takes a title off of her. You're talking about somebody that whatever slot you put her in, she's going to maximize it. She's going to maximize the value of that spot. And so, again, I feel like NXT's women's division, I thought she gave Raquel one of her best matches. Again, I think Io will always be her best match in her reign, though I'm curious what Dakota does to take over 36. But I felt like Mercedes' match with her wasn't bad. She put Xia Li over and, really further put over Tian Sha and stuff like that. That was a really great spot for her. And again, I feel like if you're going to push these other talents, I'm not saying it's like a shortcut to doing it, but I always feel like it's never a bad idea to have some of the old guard to just kind of be like, kind of a gatekeeper kind of role sort of thing, at least on TV. And I feel like Mercedes could have done that really well. I'd be surprised if AEW doesn't pick her up because their women's division, people are still harping on them about their women.
Dude.
And you've got a real ring general in Mercedes.
I'm telling you right now,
right
AEW had an opportunity with Mercedes a couple years ago when she appeared for them in that women's Casino Battle Royale, and they didn't pull the trigger, even though she got far and away the biggest pop of that show. If they don't go out and pick her up as soon as her non-compete is up, they are goddamn fools. Straight up. That is the biggest slam dunk signing to come out of this is AEW picking up Mercedes Martinez, because at the end of the day, not only are you getting what would end up being the best in-ring worker in your entire company if you would sign her among the women, and yes, I am putting her on a stage above Shida and Riho and Yuka, etc., but you're bringing in a fucking locker room leader that you do not have. Especially because Awesome Kong isn't around anymore. She could have been that, but she ain't around. So she's not. You need somebody that can keep this fucking locker room straightened out, like whipped into shape basically, and like keeping focused and stuff. Like Mercedes is, I feel like she is such a ring general and such a locker room leader, and like she is the absolute queen. And if AEW signs her, I feel like it would be an absolute boon for their women's division.
Completely agree. All right, I think those were all the names, right? So we can get into our SmackDown review, because I already said I didn't have any heats tonight.
Yeah.
As far as SmackDown goes, So let's get into it, guys. First off, we get Sasha Banks. Good promo here from Sasha. You know, she's got that heel heat, knows how to work it. The bare bones of the promo is she feels like Bianca needs her, like Sasha made Bianca, because without Sasha, there's no ESPYs, there's no WrestleMania main event. You know, she took a rookie and made her into a champion.
Yeah.
You know, the usual narrative when it comes to a feud like this. Bianca
bullshit.
comes out. Exactly. Bianca comes out, talks about how, you know, I am the champion. I've had it going on. I've been holding it down since you've been gone. And more or less to everything Sasha said, she literally says, girl, and she kind of puts Sasha in her place, like, I've been holding it down. I've been doing the thing. And Sasha replies, like, you know, that she's a legend. She's one of the greatest, that she's going to take that championship. And Bianca's like, hey, you know, I won't deny that you're a legend. You're one of the greatest. But if you want this, it's on. And then Zelina Vega's music hits. She talks a little bit of smack to Sasha, like saying Sasha just can't swoop in and take Vega's opportunity because Zelina already challenged Bianca. And then she says, you know, what are you going to do, Bianca? And Sasha's like, yeah, Bianca, what are you going to do? And Bianca sucks Sasha down. She's like, she wasn't even talking to you. She was talking to me because I'm SmackDown Women's Champion. And she says, oh, Zelina, I did not forget about you or your challenge. So I'll tell you what, you, pointing to Sasha, I want you at SummerSlam. And you, Zelina, you and I, we can do this tonight. And she leaves. So I love how Bianca looks here. A challenger that'll take on just anybody that knocks on her door. We've already got Sasha Bianca that's confirmed for SummerSlam. Should be a great matchup. Honestly, should be one of like the main event matches. I wouldn't expect that until pretty late in the show. And I just want to say this again as an aside. It is still fucking with me that SummerSlam's on a Saturday this year. And I only keep saying it because if I don't, I know I'm going to forget it because I'm so used to it being Sunday. But TakeOver Sunday. God, what
it's
is
really
happening?
weird, dude. It's really weird. I feel like they had to schedule it like that for a reason, but there's probably no like kayfabe booking reason. The reason is probably just like, oh, you know, it's convenient for this financial reason that we don't know about.
Yeah, dude, I don't even know anymore, man. Just take me to the ether. Just take me. God damn.
Calgon, take me away.
we get Ray and Dominic backstage. Only worthwhile thing here, Ray is just like freaking out. Okay, that Dominic took on a match with main event Jey Uso, and I'm gonna keep calling him that because that's best Jey Uso.
Yes.
And you know, Dominic's like, oh, I just wanted to build up our momentum from you beating Jimmy last week. And Ray even mentions like how he beat Jimmy thanks to Dominic's help, which he didn't need, by the way. Ray does make that point, like, I didn't need your help. And, you know, he says, you're young, I get it, you're hungry, but you know how important it is for me that we win those tag titles back at SummerSlam, so we know that that's happening at SummerSlam as well, Usos versus Mysterios, and bring those tag titles back to our family, so, you know, just make sure you got it. And then Dominic's on the way to the ring, and he's like, oh, hey, Dad, I don't need your help either, but kind of playfully, like, kind of smiling. And so we see a slight tension between these two. Honestly, just because I am a bastard, I will give this feud, whatever is happening here, I will give it a 10 out of 10. If it just in one promo, Dominic looks at Ray and says, this is why I wish Eddie was my father, and then just drops the mic and leaves Ray with that. Because I fully expect WWE to do it. I fully expect them to do some kind of low blow or some bullshit, and Dominic's going to be such an awful promo. I feel it. My internal organs are just going to cringe unto themselves, and it's going to be a mess. But I'm here for it. You know, honestly, I'm waiting for the train wreck. So yeah, I'm fully expecting.
I'm all for Dominic just insulting Ray as a father, but I really don't want him to invoke Eddie's name in the process.
I feel like they will, and I got Foster with it, but I don't know, man, because there is that cheap heat that you know WWE will never miss a chance to go after, especially like with the Mysterios and what they mean to WWE. I mean, of course, Ray specifically. So you're probably right. Maybe they won't, but like I just expect a disaster of a promo. Because I will say, on a more serious note, I do expect a feud here. Because I think WWE made it more explicit tonight. Like, yeah, these guys aren't exactly seeing eye to eye. Ray is trying to be the father. Dominic's the unruly, like, kind of passionate young wrestler that wants to prove himself to everybody. and something's got to give. I think it'd be far more fascinating, and I've said this, if Ray turned on Dominic, just because boomers are the #1 heel right now, and I just feel like that's capitalizing on the culture.
Yeah.
But it's fucking Ray, so that's not happening.
No, it definitely isn't.
Dominic versus Jey Uso. Really nothing to say here. Ray takes out Jimmy Uso at one point when he tries getting involved, kind of grabbing on to Dominic's foot because I think he's thinking about going for a frog splash. Ray takes him out, I think, with a senton. Dominic tries diving. Jey Uso
Dad, I
moves out of
said
the
I
way.
didn't need your help. Jeez.
Yeah, he probably felt that way because then Jey hits him with a super kick, hits him with the Uso splash, and gets the win. So, yeah, that's probably going to be brought up next week.
Cost me my match, Dad. Go.
Then we get Edge backstage, pretty much talking about what a selfish bastard Seth Rollins is. And he reminds everybody of Seth's remarks that, if I can't be Universal Champion.
You're going a little bit fast. I just had a thought.
Okay.
I'm sorry. What if this leads to emo Dominic Mysterio?
Dude, I'm telling you, something cringe is coming. Whether it's emo Dominic, whether it's invoking Eddie, something cringe is coming. And I'm just prepping my body for it.
He starts wearing eyeliner and dyes his hair black, and he starts wearing a black hoodie and shit. And he's just like, oh, things were so much better before I teamed up with my dad. Gosh.
Yeah, he's the worst.
Life is just awful.
But yeah, we'll have to see what happens with that. It could happen at SummerSlam even, in the post-match, because I really don't expect. I think the Mysterio's title reign, they did it just to say, oh, father, son, record books, all that stuff. Now we're moving on to things that, are actually important. So we'll have to see what happens. But yeah, Edge has a promo backstage, more or less saying wow, what a selfish bastard Seth Rollins is.
He called him rotten, too. He called him a rotten, selfish bastard.
Rotten, selfish bastard. Reminds everybody that Seth said, and if I can't be Universal Champion, then neither can Edge. And just okay, well, that happened. So I'm going to go out there and I'm going to show Seth Rollins what a rotten, selfish bastard I can be. And so that's kind of, left at that. Then we get King Nakamura, Boog's doing the introduction, which is starting to get over with the crowd. I noticed the crowd did say boo.
Yes, I love that. That was so cool. He was like, what's up, everyone? I'm Rick. And then everyone did it. And then he did the boo. I love that. That was like, oh, he's getting over, and he's not even wrestling yet. This is awesome.
Yeah, this is one thing they're handling really well. There's another thing that I think SmackDown's handling really well, but we're going to get to that later in the show.
You say they're handling it really well, but I still just want to see Rick Boogs in the ring. It's too easy for someone that's as big and strong as him to get over actually doing the wrestling part. I feel like they're almost handicapping him by having him not wrestle, because you put him in the ring, have him fucking lift a guy Apollo Crews' size up over his head, which we know he can fucking do, and he's made. It's that simple. You don't even need to take this scenic route that they're taking with him. You could have him get over like that. I feel like they're intentionally holding back on him.
Yeah. It's a positive and a negative, right? It's a negative, obviously, because we're not seeing him, and the longer he goes doing this, it's well, are we ever going to see him? But I guess it's a positive because when you get over in this way, right, it's like you said, once he gets in the ring, it's almost like he's doing the work backwards. So many guys get over in the ring. Boogs is doing the opposite, that I feel like long-term, if they are going to use him in that way, which, again, is such a big question mark with WWE, like everything else is, he's going to really be barreling down the track, I feel like. So, a lot of ambiguity, a lot of questions in the air, but
I feel like if I could ask Vince McMahon any one question right now, it would be, how do you feel about Rick Boogs? Because I just would love to know if he's high on him or not.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm right there with you, but I'm high on King Nakamura. But I got to say, this matchup, him versus Apollo Crews in a championship contenders match, I don't understand. It's either a #1 contenders match, or it isn't, or what is it?
Yet another stupid ass invention by WWE to excuse themselves from lazy bullshit.
Yeah, absolutely. And but this matchup is just indicative of what I was talking about at the top of the show, how the matches were really short.
Yeah.
Because there was a little bit of offense, but very quickly Aziz gets involved and the match gets thrown out.
Yep.
And babyfaces stand tall because Nakamura is able to thwart the 2-on-1 beatdown. And to be quite honest, dude, I actually did think we were going to see Boogs get physical here. Because, like, Aziz, I mean, you see his presence.
Yeah,
you see
dude, when Aziz was, like, tugging at Nakamura and, like, trying to do stuff to him, I was like, come on, Boogs, get involved. And then Nakamura just handled it himself. It's like, damn you, Nakamura, for being so competent. I want to see Boogs wrestle, damn it.
Yeah, of course he'd be the exception to the rule. We look at so many babyfaces that are incompetent, and
Yeah.
Nakamura's like, but no, my brain works, though.
Yeah.
So, like,
God, and we have to be angry for it because of Boogs.
WWE, you could just never let us have something.
And when you do let us have something, you let us have it in a time that makes everything else worse.
Yeah, first of all, facts. Second of all, then this segment happened. Ultimately, this was quintessentially Big E, but before that, Paul Heyman cuts a promo because we get the whole recap of the contract situation. Paul Heyman is pissed. He gives an example of him taking out Tom Brady and signing his contract to the NFL. And does that mean I get the $75 million? No. Roman Reigns is furious, and he's not going to answer your questions. And honestly, Kayla, and I'm sure you've heard this a lot, I'm not in the mood. Oh, oof, Paul, goddamn. But then Paul turns around, and my God, this fucking man, like, this feels like very early New Day energy from Big E.
Yep.
Like, all this weirdness.
Really, it might even feel a little bit like pre-New Day Big E, because this had very, I'm going to give it to him kind of energy to it.
Yeah. Yeah,
it was
really
when he was like Dolph Ziggler's heavy.
Yeah. And he was just fucking giddy.
He was.
Holding that briefcase and just laughing and almost like, was he, I mean, I don't want to take it to that place, but I have to ask, was he
O-face?
Yeah, vinegar stroking over the thought of cashing
there was definitely some, like, ahigal going on there.
Yeah. Yeah, and Heyman had the appropriate reaction because I think he put two and two together like, oh, God, what the fuck? Oh, God. Oh, God. Roman! And, you know, I guess just wanted to address that. I like it, though,
good.
man.
I loved it. Biggie's just a treasure.
I mean, I was weirded out by it, but in a good way. You know, in a good way. You gotta have a certain IQ and be in a certain mood to understand Biggie. But no.
You have to have a high IQ to understand Rick and Morty. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think you have to have a high IQ to understand the hilarity that is Big E, though. He's just great.
Only one other thing I should say I want to say about this. I think it was very smart of WWE to do this because Big E's just been in those like random mid-card tag matches since Money in the Bank. And this is like an explicit reminder, hey, I have this briefcase that ties me to these people, and more specifically what they have, the Universal Championship. Or I could go to Raw and do the same thing to MVP because this just ties me to every world champion. And I love it. So, and Big E, I got to tell you, even though I was rooting for KO and Jomo at Money in the Bank, Big E deserves it, and he's a great briefcase holder just because even him laughing, like, yeah, it's goofy, but you look at the man, and it's like, but he can actually win, which in a roundabout way makes it even more unnerving. So, good stuff all around. And then we just kind of get to some meh stuff. Yeah, Tegan Nox versus Tamina. This was, I guess, roll-up of Doom strikes again. Tamina about to win this with the Samoan drop. Shotzi fires the tank. Tegan rolls her up, gets the win. Again, another really short matchup. Not really much to say here.
Bro,
so,
do you remember how much hype there was before she signed with WWE for Nixon Newell, and how, like, every time somebody brought up anybody that hasn't been signed with WWE so far that, like, WWE definitely has their eyes on, that's going to do great, and Nixon Newell always came up as one of the very few women that got mentioned in those conversations. And now here she is, something like 4 or 5 years later, and like 3 knee surgeries later, and her in-ring work isn't even the problem. Her knees being brittle as fuck isn't even the problem. This woman needs to learn how to calm her literal face.
yeah. The emoting is over 9,000.
Bro, and even when she got hit by a move with Tamina, she would sell it with a back bump and then make sure to sit back up so she could make a whoa, I'm really dazed and out of it now kind of face to the camera to make sure we could see it.
Yeah, do you see what's happening, guys? Do you get it? Do you get it? Do you get it?
Yeah.
But, yeah, like, I don't know. In a way, my heart breaks for her because I vaguely remember the hype around her, and then those injuries, man, like, holy fuck.
But again,
Talk
though,
about
like,
accelerating.
yes, the injuries are tragic, and it's unfortunate that they ever happen, and it's even more unfortunate that they happen so many times to the same person. But the injuries aren't the problem with her. The bad knees aren't the reason that she's not good. Like,
Right.
it's entirely a mental thing with her. It's entirely she makes these bad decisions consistently.
Yeah. But yeah, so she went through like 50 emotions, I guess, in one match. I don't know.
And she needed Shotzi's help to beat Tamina. Like, even though they literally beat Tamina and Natalya in tag matches 2 or 3 weeks in a row. And Tamina's still coming out with those tag titles too, even though Natalya's injured and we don't know when she'll be back. Like, there's so much wrong with this segment. It's upsetting.
Yeah, like, first of all, if Natalya's going to be out for an extended time, vacate those fucking titles. I don't care that her feelings were hurt because of a fucking meme or whatever.
Better yet,
like,
have Tamina defend them against Shotzi and Tegan 2-on-1 and have them win it.
Either that, dude, or like pull a Chris Jericho to Natalya's edge and just pick a new partner. Pick Naomi, for fuck's sake. She's been waiting in the wings on SmackDown.
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice?
Like,
well, didn't she? Yeah, I was gonna say she secretly kind of got traded over to SmackDown for nothing, just for no reason, just because.
And like, the only thing I can say in defense of like Tegan needing help is remember they pinned Natalya both times they won those tag matches. So I hate it because it feeds my meta narrative of Tamina one day turning heel on Natalya because she's the definitive weak link of the team.
Yeah.
Like, you've eaten the pins. You know, they have to privately wrestle handicap matches to beat me, and you cost us the tag titles. Now she can even still say it because you're the one that got injured, not me. This was my first championship. I did everything I could to stay healthy, to defend them. You screwed it all up for us.
Yeah.
Super kick. Bye. My meta narrative is right there, and I'm devastatingly good looking. Why won't they capitalize? God damn it. Ugh.
Wait, you actually want that to happen?
Well, yeah, because you know my whole dream was like an even bigger bloodline, but with female members that actually seem badass and take care of shit. Yeah, I know most people don't care for a heel Naomi, but to be honest, I do. Like, I think it'd be a good change for her because she's doing literally nothing. And the glow, which could have been top babyface potential, they haven't tapped into it. So, you know what they do tap into? This fucking faction.
I feel like you're solving the wrong problem here, though. I feel like the problem isn't that Naomi's a face. The problem is that she's not used, and you don't.
Dude, I literally just said that. Like,
no, I know. I agree with you that they're not tapping into it, but the solution isn't always a heel turn. Like, the solution in this case could literally just be fucking use her. And I don't think that they should need to turn her heel in order for them to decide to use her.
See, now, obviously, I agree with you on that, but the problem is I don't think WWE agrees with either one of us. And, like, honestly, they don't even agree with my meta-narrative, because they'll probably just keep her in fucking catering. So,
yeah, well, and I was even going to say, like, the problem that I was having with your meta-narrative specifically was that it required a Natalya be, like, booked as, like, a babyface, and I'm just like, no, fuck that, I don't want it.
Well, she's a babyface in her own mind, so of course they're just going to fucking run with it. And, I mean, again, I agree with you. I'm just trying to work with the parts we have, man. Because, again, like, the central
I like the idea of Naomi joining Tamina and becoming, like, you know, the new half of the tag champs. What I don't like is that they would most likely lose those titles in literally their first defense, and it would make it seem like Naomi is worse than Natalya.
Yeah. And that's fair, because knowing WWE, that probably would happen. I don't fucking know, man. I'm trying to make a broken thing work.
Like, if we were guaranteed that Naomi could join Tamina and they could be tag team champions for another, like, 3+ months at least, and defend those titles another 2 or 3 times, including maybe even one on SummerSlam, I would be perfectly down for that. I would be totally in. I would be so happy for Naomi to get that opportunity. And I would hope that something would go down between Tamina and Naomi that would lead to a singles feud between them. But I just feel like, you know, at this point, we're not asking too much, but if you ask them, we are asking too much.
And I think that's one reason why I was so reactive when her name was floated around for a millisecond, because she's off the radar, so it's totally believable. Like, that's totally believable. Bronson Reed was on the radar only as far as, like 2 weeks ago, and
Yeah.
he got released. So I'm like, yeah, somebody that's not on the radar, that makes even more sense. But yeah, thankfully she still is employed. I'm just waiting for them to do something. She's on SmackDown, and I think we all know like why that switch happened, at least in my mind. You know, and
So
yeah,
she could be
because
on
she
the
got
same brand with
traded.
Jimmy.
Exactly, and you know, I don't know, but Tamina loses here. Tegan and Shotzi, who knows when they're going to get their title shot, if a title shot's even happening, or if they're going to vacate the titles. I don't know, and it's really becoming increasingly hard to care. Selena and Adam Pearce backstage. Interesting thing about this segment.
Sonya.
So Sonya, yeah, saying, you don't make the matches around here, I do, and Adam makes a face, but he doesn't follow it up with a confrontation with Sonya. I think he just kind of lets it slide. And he more looks at Sonya and it's like, what's her problem? Meaning Zelina. But it's like, dude, did you not just hear that like Sonya low-key usurped her your authority and like just kind of take it for herself? So again, we have the problem of I don't know what they're doing with Sonya Deville either, because it seems like a start and stop kind of thing. Like it's been weeks since we've seen any kind of antagonism like this, and now she's doing it again. So like, is it gonna be something? Because I'll tell
this
you,
company is fucking exhausting to cover. Jesus Christ.
dude, I know. Because here's the thing: if they start it up again, and again, just my opinion, just trying to make something work.
Well, see, and that's the
could see
thing
them
that I'm
doing-
saying though, is like you're trying to make something work when you get a little tiny whiff of something maybe possibly potentially happening, and I'm just like, why are we wasting our energy? They could just forget about it again next week, or you could be right and they could run with it. But it's like they drive me so fucking nuts with their on and off. You know, they're on again, off again, inconsistent 50-50 whatever the fuck booking decisions. It makes me not want to put any effort into even trying to have any passion for potential, because anything that we come up with, they're going to squander it.
Yeah, I mean, I can't blame you there. Because, I mean, my immediate thought is, are you going to drag this out maybe to Survivor Series for like a Team DeVille, Team Pierce, winner gets control of SmackDown type situation, which would be a 5-on-5 I'd maybe kind of give a shit about, since there'd actually be stakes? Or are you just going to drop this again? Because, like, again, I feel like I'm not even being hyperbolic when I say it's been weeks since they've positioned Sonya in any kind of heel context. I mean, granted, she was kind of doing the stuff with Liv, but she put Liv in the ladder match ultimately, and she didn't even put herself in the ladder match, which was highly speculated.
Yeah.
So, like,
I think even Meltzer speculated that.
So, like, Sonya is in such a weird place. God damn it. Like, I really don't know what they're doing with her. And, like, I only care because I do see some upside to her, but it's like, you got to do something here. So, yeah.
The thing I don't understand is why they brought her back at all. What purpose does she serve right now? Like, what purpose has she served since she came back? She lost a loser leaves WWE match to Mandy and randomly came back a few months later in a fucking higher like level authority position. I don't understand why she's even here at all. She serves no purpose.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm hard pressed to disagree with you. Again, I feel like you and I don't even really disagree. I just think we have two completely different temperaments tonight, because you're just like, fuck the passion for possibility with this company. And I'm more or less like, yeah, I know, but maybe if we scavenge just a little bit as a treat.
Yeah, John,
I mean, you're right.
John is like trying to pick the bones, and I'm just like, bro, it's a bone. You're not going to get anything.
I mean, I just feel the need to try. I feel compelled to try. I'll put it to you that way. But
I wish I felt that way. And really, I miss the days that I felt that way. I miss the days that I wasn't just fucking soul crushed by this company. I swear.
I mean, dude, honestly, when they were talking about releases coming, depending on who was going to get released, now obviously it didn't come to this because I didn't say anything to you before the show, but I had half a mind, depending on who was going to get released, to be like, so do you even want to cover NXT anymore? Because I feel checked out of that brand ultimately.
I mean, dude, I'm telling you right now, if they go back to the game show format, we're not covering it anymore.
Oh, I highly doubt they will, but I mean, that's good to know, that because I'm right there with you. Like,
but I mean, like, you know, even anything along those lines, I think, like, if they try and make it anything other than like just a good wrestling show, I'm gonna be very, very like we'll give them maybe a month of the new format before we're like, okay, yep, fuck this, we're out.
Yeah. And yeah, I mean, SmackDown again wasn't bad, and I think it's still consistently a good show, but it was just kind of weird tonight again with how short the matches were.
I think SmackDown trends much more good than bad, and especially more than any of the other WWE shows. Tonight's was like a 30th percentile show. Like, it was a below average show for SmackDown, but not terrible overall.
Right. So, yeah, as far as Zelina goes, because I just want to touch more on the Sonya stuff because that was like a weird character
Yes.
beat. Zelina's not getting her title shot tonight, but it's
No.
more of a championship contenders match type
Yeah,
bullshit thing.
this bullshit. Like, oh my god, why?
Which, to Javaris' point in the Discord, and I have to point this out, and I love Zelina to death, but we have to be consistent. She hasn't won a goddamn match. She lost to Liv. She lost to Tony. Like, how are you even in this?
This is the one instance where the championship contenders match thing makes a modicum of sense because Zelina has no spot, no place getting a championship match after she's done nothing but lose. But you give her a match with Bianca that Bianca opted to choose to want to have. And if she wins, then obviously she'd be a contender, but she's not going to win. And we saw that she didn't win later on in the night.
Yeah, and I even, you know what? I'm not going to jump the gun because we're only a few segments away from that anyway. We'll get to it. We get Edge. I got to say, one of the best parts of the show.
Dude, this entire segment, including Rollins' part, is the best part of the show in my mind.
Yeah, I really did like what they did with Finn, though, to be fair. I really like
Oh, yeah.
I've got a bit to say about Finn.
For sure.
Later, but yeah. Edge, man, again, I keep saying it. He's aging the right way.
Yeah.
Like, finally wrestling outside of Suzuki, because it's about time the West got a paradigm, for fuck's sake, is showing how to be old properly in wrestling. None of this, like, fucking, what was his name on the fucking indies? Like, CPO or whatever? Fucking bullshit. No, this is, like,
wait, what?
Real compelling
Who's
shit.
this now?
That guy, he even won the ROH world title. He was 50. It was CPO.
Oh,
He did
PCO.
these, like, crazy...
PCO.
That's what it was. That's
Pierre
what it was.
Carlole.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
CPO. Oh my god, I love it. That's great.
Yeah, see, that just shows you how little I gave a fuck. But Edge,
love Ring of Honor, John.
But Edge still kind of miffed at Seth Rollins. You know, he's just thinking like, I was willing to let the past be the past, but then you cost me the Universal Championship. And so, you know, he says, like, when I look at you, it's like looking into a mirror of myself. He says there's a lot of similarities between you and I. You know, we've done this back and forth now, but it's got to end. And if he was here tonight, because, oh, yeah, he starts the promo saying Seth Rollins apparently isn't here tonight. What a shock. But if he was here tonight, this was going to end. So Edge seemed definitive, like, I was so ready to just punctuate this shit and get on with my life. And then Seth appears on the Titantron via satellite. His suit, Jesus Christ, dude. Seth, I need to talk to you. I really need to talk to you because it's scary that, like, I might be looking into my future. And I'm okay with so much of it. I'm okay with, like, 98% of it. But that wardrobe, bro, and this is coming from a guy that does not give two shits about fashion. One thing you got to know about your boy John, guys. I am the laziest motherfucker. I am purely a utility player. Anything I do it out of sheer convenience, not to participate in any kind of mass culture or anything like that. I don't drive. I barely shave in the winter because I feel it's more fur on my face to keep me warm. And my shirts are basic as hell. So in a way, I'm not worried, right? Because you don't seem like a utility player, Seth. Not at all. But what the fuck are you wearing, dude? It is like a green, almost like a jacket-esque type suit or whatever. It's not like one of those like really formal suits. And it's green and it's blazoned with butterflies on it. Like, what the fuck? And a pink tie looking straight out of GTA Vice City DLC pack. And he's just kind of laughing at Edge and being like, oh, you're so amusing, Adam. You and your anger and your
Seth's
promises.
blazer literally looked like a bad bathroom wallpaper.
It really did. Like, it looked like, yeah, exactly, the inside of an old woman's bathroom.
Or
sure.
like the shower curtain, at least.
Yeah. But he's laughing and he's chuckling and, you know, he's more or less like taunting Edge. And they're just like, oh, no, I'm not going to be there. 10 out of 10. But then Edge starts poking the bear a little bit. See, this is where Seth is so me. He's so great at being an asshole to everyone else.
And not being able to take it.
it's so easy to be attacked, and he felt so attacked because Edge is like, oh, you know what your problem is?
Don't
You
tell me
tried
what
to
my
follow
problem is. That's the you
Dude, I
response.
wish he would have said something like that. I wish he would have said something like that. Because he said, you know what your problem is? You had your chance to take me out in 2014 and you didn't get the job done. You didn't finish the job. And you're trying to walk in my footsteps, but you can't fill them. Edge versus the English language is low-key and understated feud because I beg to disagree. And now you tried to walk in my footsteps, but you can't fill them. So it was shoes, Adam. It was shoes. Goddamn. And Seth, you could just see
You even
like,
called him Adam. God damn.
and he's like, you know what you are, Seth? You're Edge light. And Seth is just like,
Bro, he seethed so hard at that.
Like, you could just tell.
I
in
know
the back
his
of his
name is
mind,
spelled Seth, but if you add 2 more E's, you get the emotion he was feeling after Seth said this, or after Edge said this.
Folks, look, you know I say weird, stupid shit, so just add this one to the archive, because I think I even made an allusion to this last week. Like, you know when Edge said that line, you're Edge light, Seth filed that one away from the manifesto when he just goes postal on Edge or does some shit. He's like, it's the night before SummerSlam, so I wanted to get all my thoughts out there. First of all, I'm not Edge light. I'm an individual. I'm the Messiah. I have the... And, you know, Becky's like, Seth, what are you doing? Nothing. What's the ETA on my chicken tendies? And it's like...
Wait, is Sethington a tendy boy now? What?
Dude, the energy he emanates when he gets angry at people...
Bro, I feel like
low-key,
Sethington is more of like an eating caviar at home by himself type.
Yeah, but he eats it very angrily, though. Like, he stuffs the whole spoon in his mouth, and he chews, like, very aggressively and thoughtfully. Like he's stewing.
I feel like he's the type to, like, eat fucking pasta with truffles in it.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. I am not Edge light. You shut your mouth. You shut your mouth.
Seth's the type of dude that would prefer baklava to cake.
Baklava is delicious, though. I fucks with that, Seth. That's true. That's
I understand
true,
that you love baklava, but we're talking about, like, basically I'm saying Seth is the type of dude that invests a lot of money in things just because he can.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Like, he's the type of dude that has, like, an at-home waiter that makes him escargot on Saturdays.
Oh, yeah, totally. Totally. Abso-fucking-lutely. So... They ultimately get around to a match.
Oh my god!
For SummerSlam.
He's you after the epiphany that utilitarianism is less fulfilling than splurging.
I don't even know what to do with this. Like, I was getting ready. Like, okay, we'll file that one away. Oh, man, Foster, Baron sees Seth Suits and says, nah, I'm good. And that man's working with a fucking sauce stain. God damn. Damn.
It's a ketchup stain, isn't it?
I mean, yeah, tomato, right? But,
well, I mean, yes, you're right. They are different, yes.
But, yeah. Make a match for SummerSlam. And
Edge, I love that Edge challenged him to the match at SummerSlam, and of course Seth was like, "No, I don't wanna." At first, and it took Edge calling him Edge light for him to be like,
"Yeah,
you want it, you got it, you son of a bitch."
Yeah, I'm gonna repeat what I said here in the Discord. I get a weird Triple H versus HBK from SummerSlam 02 energy, which it's like, I say it's weird because Edge has already shown that he can still go. Like, this isn't that match for Michaels where it's like, oh, he hasn't had a match in like, what was it, like 10, 12 years? And like, can he do it? And, you know, like Shawn Edge Michaels? Already had the program with him. Well, yeah, and the whole 02 thing like with Triple H.
5 years.
5 years, but either way, like, it's not one of those things where this is Edge's first match back because he's already had that like many moons ago.
Yeah, for sure.
But I say more that it's like Edge gets the win, maybe even by fluky means, but then Seth hits the curb stomp after the match. And because he even said, like, with your surgically repaired neck, what could a curb stomp do to you? And, you know, it kind of makes Edge think about that. So I hope we don't do that cheesy angle where, like, you see Beth kind of wheeling Edge into the room, you know, to be via satellite with Seth, and he gets the power and gets out of the chair. Like, as a kid with Shawn Michaels, it was admittedly pretty cool because you're a child and you think everything's cool. As an adult, I'm like, nah, dude, nah, this ain't it. This ain't it.
Yeah,
So
it feels gross.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what they do, but I could see Seth in a fit of rage just because, again, we've seen it with Cesaro and we've seen it just as part of the character. He loses to Edge. I'll even put it at a 70% chance there's a post-match attack that includes like a curb stomp.
Yeah, that's fair.
So yeah, expect Edge to get fucked up. But yeah, we'll see what happens there. But great segment. I'm actually low key. This might be one of the matches I'm looking forward to most at SummerSlam.
Yeah, I agree. I am too.
Yeah. So then we get Finn Balor being interviewed. Really pissed at Corbin, and rightfully so. Then he says, when I get done with Corbin, I'm coming for John Cena. So I like this from Finn. I like that Finn isn't going to take the back fucking seat. Like, fuck you. I got robbed. Like, we're doing something about it. Then we get Street Profits versus Rudolph. I'm going to be honest with everybody. I completely checked out of this because of the release news.
I will say, though, Ford hit a really nice frog splash to win this.
Yes, he did. Ford's athleticism
literally, like,
is...
when he landed, his whole body flipped over. Like, he did like a 180-degree flip after landing because of the impact and the momentum.
Yeah, dude, he's ridiculous. He's absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
So yeah, good stuff there from the Street Profits. I think it was Foster who said that he wanted them versus Alpha Academy at SummerSlam, and I am so down. Yeah. I am so down for that. I mean, to get those guys, and
basically, they're the only two viable tag teams on SmackDown that don't involve the Mysterios or fucking Rudolph.
Exactly. And honestly, it would just be great to see Alpha Academy on the program because Otis has been just so good, and Chad as well, but you can clearly see that Otis is kind of the priority, and it would just be a great way to get him on the card, so we'll see what happens. But after that, and I got more refocused here, Bianca Belair versus Zelina Vega. Not really much to say here again. I honestly thought Zelina was going to win at one point because Sasha comes out while a count is going on, and I thought Bianca was going to be so distracted with Sasha that Zelina gets the count-out victory because I think it would make sense for a heel that's been winless like she is and is working with what she's working with size-wise and everything to get such like a basic freaking win like that. They didn't go that route.
I'm glad they didn't go. Dominant. I would have been really frustrated if Sasha came out here and fucking complicated her own title match. Like, you come out to try and screw Bianca over to get Zelina Vega to pin her. Why? So that Zelina can make it a triple threat so that you decrease your odds of winning the title by, 17%? Like, that's not smart, Sasha. You're a heel. Heels are supposed to be the smart ones in WWE. What the fuck was this?
First of all, that math checks out. Well done. Second of all, I agree with your points there. And I would also add the point that, like, Bianca already kind of looked bad given the events of last week. Like, how can you so quickly be trusting a woman that made your life leading up to WrestleMania utter shit? And then at WrestleMania was really aggro with you and your hair and just everything.
Yeah.
I guess in Bianca's mind, SBs mend relationships. I don't know. But...
yeah, she was like, Sasha just seemed so nice at the SBs. I thought that we were bonding. I thought that we were friends. And then she comes back and does this.
Your bonding was a fucking lie.
Yeah.
Focus.
That was Sasha, the character, acting.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. And so I agree with you on the Sasha side, and I think you could also make a case for the Bianca side, like as a champion. And we already talked about we don't like inept baby faces. So I think Bianca kind of rehabilitated her own image a little bit on that front when she didn't play Sasha's game. And more importantly, why should she when she's beaten Sasha at WrestleMania? Like, you've got the leg up on her. Don't play her game. And yeah, I love the finishing sequence here because she just whips Zelina against the barricade, which again, with Bianca's power and again, Zelina's stature, it's a really nice looking visual. And then the KOD, god damn, like, it looked devastating. Low key might be a contender for me for finisher of the year. Yeah. Because like nobody's kicked out of it so far that I know of, at least on the main roster. And it looks legit. Like it looks like, that's it. So
I don't
great
know. I
stuff
like
there.
the KOD without a doubt. It looks great. I am just spoiled because fucking Super Dragon does a version of that move where rather than a facebuster, he pile drives him.
Yeah. Ooh.
Like he gets him in like the
Ooh.
torture rack and then flips him forward and then he like grabs their stomachs and just drives them head first into the ground. It looks amazing. It looks devastating.
That sounds, man. God damn.
Yeah. So while I do appreciate Bianca's KOD, I'm a little bit spoiled by an even more devastating looking maneuver that is basically the exact same thing, only worse.
Yes. Yeah. I totally understand your reasoning. We get Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman backstage. More or less, Paul Heyman addresses Roman Reigns. Finn Balor versus Baron Corbin's next. Roman Reigns says, "I'm interested." We get Finn Balor versus Baron Corbin. The only sensible short match of the night to me. Balor runs through Corbin like a knife through butter.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
loved it.
Dude, I want to see this type of match needs to become more commonplace in, I would argue, all of wrestling. Even Stardom, I feel like, needs to learn how to do matches more like this more often. This was maybe 3 minutes if you exclude the early match promo that Corbin tried to cut to try and plead with Finn. And yeah, it made Corbin look bad, but that's the fucking point. Corbin should look bad. He's on the downswing. I love the idea of booking booking wrestlers like stocks. They're going to have their upswings, they're going to have their downswings, but at the end of the day, it's all variance. And if a wrestler gets hot at the right time, they can win the title. Like that should be how all wrestling is. And yet it's such a rare thing because everyone is always either hot all the time or booked 50-50 to the point that it's like there's no such thing as a hot streak. They're just always gonna kind of flip flop and like there's no real momentum there. It's just they're either gonna win or lose against somebody depending on how they've done against them in the past and like their positions on the card and stuff. I love the idea of having hot streaks where guys will go on a winning streak and be like, oh man, this is like he's been really good for the last like 4 or 5 months. Let's see if he can win the title. And then maybe he even does. And then he stays hot for another couple of months before he cools down and he realizes that he's cooled down and he has to turn heel to keep the title because he has to start cheating and getting himself disqualified and shit to retain. Like that's the kind of storytelling I love in wrestling. And Corbin is on a cold streak right now. Corbin is at a low point in his life. Fuck him. He can get buried a little bit. It's okay. He can get built back up in a few months. It doesn't matter.
I mean, you said everything perfectly. And on Finn's side, I love that Finn really is keeping that NXT energy pre-cross. Where he was just like, he is the baddest motherfucker in the room. He takes care of business. So it worked on, but it fed two stories at once to me, especially when you're talking about Finn Balor being a contender to Roman Reigns. I'm going to be honest with y'all, because I know Javaris just said, I really don't like short matches. I can sympathize with that point to a degree, Javaris. But if this match would have gone, say, even 5 minutes, 5 to 8 minutes, I would have been disillusioned on Balor versus Reigns. Because it's this dude is literally, Michael Cole even called him down on his luck, Corbin.
Yes.
If you struggle against this guy, what fucking chance do you have against Roman? So him making quick work of him. Yes. And by the way, this was even better than their SummerSlam match a few years ago because he didn't need the demon to fucking do this shit.
Yes.
I want to see him now against real competition. And not only do we want to see it, Finn wants to see it. Because after the match, he grabs a microphone and he says...
And I will just say, before we move on, it's interesting to me that Javaris said he really doesn't like short matches because I really don't like long matches. I fucking hate obnoxiously long matches. And in my mind, obnoxiously long is 20 plus minutes. Very rarely do I watch a match that goes over 20 minutes. And I would say 80% of the ones that I do like are Stardom matches. But very rarely do I watch 20 plus minute matches outside of Stardom explicitly that I really love. All my favorite matches outside of Stardom, I feel like, are in that 15 to 20 minute range, and they're and those were even when I was watching those, I felt like those were these long epic matches, and they didn't even hit that 20-minute mark mostly. So I just don't. I'm not a fan of really long matches. I just recently we were kind of keeping in touch and kind of keeping up with PWG results from their latest show that happened literally just a few days ago, and one of the matches it was Jonathan Gresham versus I forget the guy's name. It was Lee something, I think. Lee Tryon, is that the name of it? I don't remember. But But the match went 24 fucking minutes. And it was like the third or fourth match on the show. And I'm like, this is what I don't miss about PWG. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, Foster, it's amazing the kind of debate that's emerging here, because Foster even said that's why Wrestle Kingdom main events rarely connect with me. That's why I didn't care for Whitey Bushi at Wrestle Kingdom this year.
Yeah,
And, like,
and I can understand that, even if I do, in this instance, at least disagree with it. I feel like there are instances where crazy long matches can reel me in and get me connected and get me really into it, but it has to have the story behind it. It has to be the main event. It has to not have any, like, super unbelievable false finishes, and it has to not do anything that takes me out of it. And I feel like Ibushi White kind of checked all those boxes, you know?
yeah, absolutely.
I also
That is the only reason. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
also feel like what was the other Ibushi? Was it Ibushi Okada? There was another Ibushi match last year on Wrestle Kingdom Night 1 that was like my match of the year until the very end of the year almost, and then I decided to change it at the last minute. I forget what it was, though. I think it was Ibushi Okada, but I don't remember.
Was it Ibushi Naito, possibly?
No, I don't think so. I don't think it was Ibushi Naito.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Let's see. It was Okada Ibushi, Wrestle Kingdom 14 Night 1.
Okay.
Yeah. It was when Ibushi channeled murder mode, like, fully. Like, straight up, like, fucking kicking and, like closed fist punching Okada in the corner, and the ref had to pull him off and shit.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah. That was a longer match that I connected with. Again, like, it's not impossible. It's just a lot more difficult. Like, for every 120+ minute matches with a bunch of false finishes, maybe, like, 5 to 7 of them will be matches that I get really into and love. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And I'm glad you mentioned that, like, a high percentage does come from Stardom, because I know Boris mentioned Utami Shuri, and I fucking love that match.
Yep.
And that was a long match, but, like,
and the thing
intensity,
is, that match
everything.
was incredible, but I'm not going to pretend like I didn't get any kind of fatigue during that match, because, like, there were points during the first 30-minute segment where it was supposed to just be the 30-minute time limit match that I was like, okay, like, I felt that fatigue. Like, I felt like it feels like they're just kind of going through the motions at this point. I'm kind of bored. But they picked it up, and then that second segment, those last 13 minutes, the extra time that they got, that was just fucking balls to the wall, breakneck pace, unstoppable, unbelievable, perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So, and I think that's why I'm curious now to bring it back to Roman Reigns, because Finn Balor more or less says, I love to. I just want to say this, in the sea of all the discourse we've had about releases and now meta commentaries about wrestling and WWE, there's one thing that I really did want to make a point to say tonight as it relates to why we usually come here to talk about SmackDown. I have loved how SmackDown has handled Finn Balor. Like, I feel like SmackDown is protecting this man's value. I feel like SmackDown is making this man look like a big deal, which, here's the thing. I mean, again, Finn is in his 40s now. He looks fucking great, though, and he could still go. He even did an interview. He's like, if I pick my spots right, if I stay in good shape, I could see myself going 5 to even 10 more years. Yeah. And I'm like, with the way you look,
yeah,
and I get gassed
dude,
out
he's
20 push-ups.
40 years old. He's 40 fucking years old. He looks so much better than 35-year-old Ciampa. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, you can do it. Like, yeah. I believe. Like,
I'm not gonna tell him no.
Words, honestly. No, dude, I have no right to tell a person like that no on anything when I get gassed on 20 fucking push-ups. I'd be like, now you listen, hold on, fuck. Because, like, no, it ain't gonna happen.
I feel like you actually, like, collapsed in that.
Yeah, like, no, because that's how out of shape I am. And he's like, what do you even eat? And then I give him my diet, and he's like, oh, God, just sucks to suck, I guess. I believe he can do it. And my point being,
I bet you he'd be like, you need to work some protein in there, right?
Oh, God, yeah. But I'm like, protein, like, plant protein's good. And he's like, yeah, but you just, you need more of it. I don't think you're getting enough of any kind of protein. I mean, do you want to look like you? Or do you want to look like this? And he does the whole shirt thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, God damn, you could grind meat on those abs. God, this has been one hell of a SmackDown. Releases, and now we're having Finn Balor ab discourse.
Yeah. You mean Finn Balor cheese grater discourse?
Yeah, and Cleveland Brown, thanks for being so participatory in the chat, by the way. We see you. He said, Balor and Morrison are two guys I could see going 10 more years, even though they are in their 40s. Morrison's another one.
Yep.
He's a freak in there.
Yep.
Yeah.
God, that's just crazy.
Paul making the counter argument. I like that Paul has assumed the role of devil's advocate in our chat, especially because he is genuinely good at it. Finn didn't look good getting thrown over the barricade like a punk, and management not even giving him a second thought. But I think he does look good, though, that he doesn't take that shit lying down, because the guy that threw him over the barricade like a punk, he squashed in 3 minutes.
Yeah,
then,
like
you're
talking about last week when he got jumped, when he wasn't prepared to wrestle, when he was only prepared to just sign a piece of paper, and he got jumped by a dude that was desperate and was like on his last fucking limbs and his last hope at least. And of course he got the upper hand. But this week we got a fair fight between them, and Finn fucking destroyed him.
Yeah, absolutely. And he gets a mic and he addresses the management side because he's like,
yeah, I love too that he's like, now that trash is out of the way, let's move on to the real point here.
Yeah, I want the Universal Championship. Yep. And like John Cena, you name the time and the place, because he's willing to fight John Cena for it.
Yes.
He's like, no. Ain't going down like that. It kind of reminds me as a leftist, that one meme I saw a long time ago, where it's like all of these working class guys and the one like Monopoly man bourgeois guy. They're like, well, what makes you own this land? My grandfather owned it. And then they just go through the succession. He's like, well, my great-great-grandfather, and then this and that. And then it's like, well, how did he own it? Well, he fought for it. Well, we'll fight you for it. That's how it ends. And so Balor's like, look, you may be John Cena, and you may just feel like you get a title shot, whatever you want, but I'm willing to fight you for it. Yeah. So let's just do it right now. Roman Reigns comes out.
Hey, yup. Dude, Roman's fucking attitude here. Holy shit.
Yeah. Dude.
He literally just came out here to intimidate Finn and tell him to keep his name out of his mouth.
And then he threw the mic at aforementioned abs.
I know, dude. And then he sicked the Usos on him. Like, Jesus. This is the most mob-like Roman has ever felt.
Yeah, because, well, here's the thing. He sicked the Usos on him after Finn shoved him out of the ring.
Yeah.
I thought Finn was going to, like, fight him right there, but no, he wanted to humiliate him first. I love this Finn Balor. Like, on some real shit, like, Finn is in such a weird place for me, and he always has been in his WWE tenure, because, let me be perfectly clear, I've never hated Finn. I think sometimes his time in the main event could go a little too long, at least as NXT was concerned, especially his first title run. And and that's when I really enjoy him in the mid-card, working with the other workhorses, like Seth. Miz is low-key a workhorse in his own way. It's just not like an in-ring way. He just doesn't get injured. I really hate that he's actually injured now, because he had such a nice streak going. And then fucking zombies did him in. I really even hate how true that statement kind of is. But then, he gets hot again, and seeing him in the main event, it works. He's so good in this spot. And yeah, Roman played his character to perfection tonight, because the Usos start laying Finn out. And what I love about this, and why I say that SmackDown is doing so well by Finn, in my opinion.
Yep.
They're going for the splash, and Finn had the most unique escape out of a double team I've seen in some time, because he fucking drop toe holds one of the Usos into the splash of the other Uso, and then he's able to handle the 2-on-1 disadvantage. And then when he dives on both of them to end it, he gets back in the ring and he's like, come on, Roman. And it's like, holy shit, Finn's not backing down. Like, he is seriously saying, all right, run up then. Do something. And Roman's just like, I gotta teach everybody in this goddamn locker room. And so he goes.
Dude, I was honestly surprised that Roman even got in the ring. I thought he would get up on the apron just to distract Finn while the Usos got recovered and came back into the ring and attacked him again.
Yeah. I love that Finn is actually winning the altercation. He gets a sling blade on Roman. I honestly thought he was going to get the coup de grace to end the show, but no, that didn't happen. Usos stop his shotgun dropkick attempt. No. He gets Superman punched, then the splash, then the guillotine. Pickiest of nits, and again, this is just me being me. I didn't like that Finn actually physically tapped out. I would have much as preferred to pass out. But other than that, man, like Finn stood his ground and he looked great. I don't want a triple threat at SummerSlam because here's the thing, like I think you're taking the scenic route on something that to me could be done a lot more simply. Because I would fully expect Cena to eat the pin because he is the Hollywood guy and he is the the quintessential part-timer at this point. I want Finn to stew in what he's feeling as a character until like Clash of Champions or whatever, because he deserves his own spotlight. And here's the thing. Here's what I really want.
I want Finn versus Cena to happen on SmackDown, and I want Roman to screw Finn out of that match.
Yes, that's a great idea. I love that. I'll tell you another reason, bro, why I want Finn to get his own spotlight, and I know you already said yes, I know you're in agreement with me. Cena's kind of, how can I put this gently, because I do like Cena, and this isn't an anti-Cena thing. He's kind of fucking things up for Finn just a tiny bit, because the crowd is still chanting for Cena because they know he's a part of the product right now. I want to see if Finn can really earn their support, if he can keep pulling
did you notice
on a regular basis.
They were actually doing what chants for Finn at the very beginning of his promo until he won them over?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still hate crowds sometimes.
No, but, you know what though, dude? It's like the ultimate gauge because they were like the first couple lines he said they got whatted, and then he had one long line, and by the end of it, rather than saying what, they just cheered.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he can win the people over, and I think he can win them over consistently, but he needs his own spotlight to do it. And that's
I think we really need to start featuring Finn more at the beginning of shows to remind crowds that he's here, because I feel like he's so like new to SmackDown. Because even when he was on the main roster before, I don't think he ever had a SmackDown run. This is his first ever run with SmackDown, and he's only been around for maybe a month. And he's he's basically been around for as long as Cena's been back, it feels like. And Cena has obviously gotten much more of a spotlight. So it definitely seems like Finn is being brushed under the rug in that sense. Like, not intentionally, but from like a subconscious standpoint, in a way that it's hard for the crowd to remember that Balor is still like not only a thing, but hot as hell momentum-wise, and in other ways if you want to go there, and that he is also in main event contention with Cena. Like, it's really easy to forget that until you're reminded, like, oh my God, that's right, Finn's on SmackDown, and he's in the Universal title picture.
Yeah. They're doing so much right with Finn Balor that I don't want them to muddy the waters by making it a triple threat. Like, I want him to have his own spotlight and see if he can win the crowds over consistently to the point where they want him as champion at Night Champion. Clash champions. Because Roman will already do that work for Finn in a way because he's such a great heel that I think any babyface, the crowd would really like get behind him. But I also feel like the babyface obviously has to do their job. Is Cesaro compelling enough? Is Kevin Owens compelling enough? And that's why, like, I think KO is still like my favorite feud so far. But I think Finn can usurp that because I'm loving the energy he's bringing to this shit, man. I really am. Like, he's not backing down. He's handling his business. Like, yeah, it's good shit. I think Javaris is right because I see the side conversation in the chat, and I think you and I both forgot because I think Finn was drafted to SmackDown for a brief bit as the IC champion. But, yeah, like, I don't even know. Yeah, Paul saying, what is the point of having babyfaces tapping out while not even in a match other than to make them look weak? I can't stand it. Bianca did it last week. The WWE just can't help themselves. I miss Kevin Owens too, Foster. I miss Liv Morgan too. Whenever they want to bring her back, unless she's going to be released and we just don't know it. Jesus Christ. But yeah, I miss them too, but we'll see when they come back.
Imagine putting as much TV time into her over the course of the last month and a half that they have and then just releasing her. I can't imagine.
Yeah, right? Jesus. I hate that you can even say that. I know, like, you're being sarcastic because you very well could see WWE doing that, and it's just... it's such a sense of foreboding anymore. I'm even afraid to get attached to people because I'm like, is this the last time I'm going to see you? And I don't know it. Like, what's going on? And I guess you don't know it either.
I think that at the end of the day, the WWE just wants us to get attached to their chosen ones, to their golden children.
God.
And fuck everybody else.
It really, really sucks. Because I'll tell you something. If you're sick of WWE, which a lot of people are, but also, if you're not exactly fancied by AEW, and I know we aren't, you're really kind of left out in the cold in the North American scene. Like, thank goodness we have Stardom, and I'm hoping New Japan can like right the ship because I just feel disconnected with them.
I hate that
As
we've
is
been
it.
saying that for a year now. God.
God, has it been a year really? Fuck.
When did Evil win the New Japan Cup?
Oh God, you're right then, because like, oh God, was it?
Let's see. 2020 New Japan Cup. The final show was July 11th, 2020.
Jesus.
So it's actually been
Christ.
over a year even.
Oh God. Oh God.
Is MLW
Stop.
good? I mean, if you like companies that don't pay their performers very well and rip off concepts created by far more creative people for the sake of, cheap cash grabs, then sure, check it out.
God, dude, we're really becoming the jaded ones. Like, we're just taking refuge in Stardom because it's the only good thing right now. And I'd be
really
lying
because
to
we
you.
don't know about any of the backstage shit with them.
Yeah, and not only that, like, I'd be lying to you all if I didn't ask the question somewhat regularly. When's the other shoe
Are
gonna drop
you
on
kidding
that?
me? Javar is saying Desmond Troy just got released, formerly known as Denzel Desjardins. I was a fan
Yeah,
of
I
his
did see
too.
that.
Shit, man. God damn it.
High spots, low shots, a meta
Low shot us.
Everybody. Yeah,
And
I was gonna
everyone
say
that got
everyone here.
released and this company as a fucking whole.
But if you're really asking me to be grounded, my low shot. You know what? My low shot's down bad Corbin.
He basically got discarded in the main event. He was in the main event of this show, and Finn Balor managed to not only destroy him, but disregard him.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Foster, since you were just asking what my trail off thought was, I just say, like, when's the other shoe going to drop with Stardom? Because I've seen it happen. It used to happen when I was an Impact fan. You know, wow, they're getting really good, and they're consistently good. I feel safe here. I feel like this is so much fun. And then they become bad. Like, I don't want to put it out into the universe, but I fear the year.
I feel like we've been
that'll come when we're
experiencing
like,
that with New Japan lately.
yeah, and I fear the year that it may happen to Stardom. And I'm like, please,
Oh,
no, please.
no.
That's the only thing we have left. Don't do this to me.
I don't want our lives as wrestling fans to be reduced to watching reruns of Lucha Underground on Tubi.
It's so close.
It is. It's dangerously close. It terrifies me. God damn it.
Like, because I think I even told you, bro. Look, I've got no qualms saying it in front of our audience when a lot of them have been longtime listeners. I think I even told Ashton at one point, guys, like, if it wasn't for Stardom and the idea that I do enjoy the podcast and even ripping apart wrestling with you guys, I probably wouldn't even watch wrestling anymore. And no, to answer the age-old question, I don't think you can grow out of wrestling. Wrestling's one of those things that either it's good or it isn't. Yeah. And yeah, maybe that barometer changes as you get older. I'll grant you that. But like, yeah, like I still feel like, yeah, you can watch wrestling when you're 40,
Dude,
50,
I feel
60,
like
it's not an age thing.
if we would become completely jaded by every wrestling product, and Stardom would make some really bad decisions the way New Japan has, and we would fall out of love with it, and we just wouldn't be able to find anything, and we would just be like, it's been a good run, but I think it's finally time to shut down TWitWoW as a channel. We would keep it up just so that people could go back and watch our archival content, and we would just stop covering wrestling as a whole. 5 years could pass, and if a product as good as Lucha Underground started up, we would be right the fuck back on here talking about it again.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, wrestling just, and again, I know these are subjective states. If people are enjoying AEW or WWE or whatever, seriously, like, more power to you. I envy you, actually, because it's like, damn, you're really getting to be a part of, like, the big cultural moment. I just feel so disconnected from it. Yeah, zero chance, Foster, especially because, no, not getting into that today. This has already been pressing enough.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that got ruined for me, too. Yeah, and, like, you knew how happy I was about that. How giddy I was about that. That got ruined for me, too. So that's great. Like, no, there's just nothing. Like, this time period sucks. Everything sucks, and I have nothing positive to say to any. I even tried.
Have we ever sounded older than we do right now?
Yeah,
I feel like I need to just say fuck the baby boomer generation and like mild fuck you to the Gen X as well, just to cover my own ass as a not old person.
No, Foster. First of all, don't you ever. Okay, you are beautiful, and we love you. And I swear, I'm gonna make a blood oath to protect you at all costs. No, why I reacted that way, and I might as well say it because Cleveland Brown's asking what happened. Gable Steveson, the guy that I was really, really psyched about, and I was imagining all those live reactions, and I was gonna be so fucking turned up and really be the John that I love to be for you guys. Not the obnoxious like turned up, but genuinely so passionate about what I'm watching. Yeah, apparently he was accused of rape by a girl back in 2019. No charges were formally filed. And I'll be honest, issues on the case are scant. But you know what, guys? I'm going to be honest, too. And this is how much the culture has just fucked me up. Even if he's innocent, just like the brush that they got it out for him on that, I can't get it out of my head of, like, the what if, It's like it's ruined for me now because that's the image I had. So thank you to the people that imparted that information to me. And yes, I do mean it unironically because we should know what's happening. But I was so happy in my ignorance. I really was. And that's no excuse. Again, I'd rather have the knowledge than not. But yeah, that was ruined for me. And I was so happy. Ashton can tell you, I sent him voice recordings so pumped, and I was telling him, oh, dude, they could do all this with him now. Like the gold medal he's made now. And he's going to be. But now every time I see him, I'm going to be thinking, did you do it? And it's going to take me out of it. It's going to take me out of it. The same way capitalism takes me out of really enjoying wrestling with WWE because I'm like, man, that was a great show. Sucks about the people, though, that are struggling to find work in a pandemic or may just have confidence or trust issues. It sucks. And I even tried scavenging earlier. But you know what? Ashton's right. It's pointless. It's bone. What am I doing? I look like an idiot. But actually, no, I'm not the idiot. They're the idiot for sucking in the first place. Everybody that made capitalism happen, a thing, is an idiot. I'm not the problem here. Ashton's not the problem here. None of you are a problem here. The problem here is that the system fucking sucks. And the problem isn't that we're not doing enough, because what can you do when the system is just the totality? It's everything. It touches everything. Not a corner of any of our lives are untouched by it. So what resistance? What opting out? What, thinking about the guy in the comic strip? And yet you participate in society. Curious, shut the fuck up, you little shit. I swear I wish I could punt you across the street. Oh, God. So, yeah, Meta Low Shot us. All day, every fucking day for this bullshit. But if you want a real low shot, if you're thinking, oh, can we just go back to Smackdown, please? Sure, we can do a real low shot. Let's see, eeny, meeny, miny, Corbin, because he is the embodiment of the worst of capitalism when it's done with you right now. Ketchup stains on his shirt and everything. And Jesus Christ, dude, say the big boy word with me now. Shaving. Do it. So who's your low shot?
Especially your head. You really don't need to see your hairline. It's pretty bad.
Yes.
And that's me being polite, too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Who's your low shot, man? Take a shot at somebody.
I was about to say capitalism served a function when it replaced feudalism in the 12th century, but then I realized that feudalism only lasted 7 centuries. Capitalism's been here for 9.
Dude, there are scholars that legitimately say we're in an age of neo-feudalism. So it's almost like feudalism just got re-fucking packaged because none of our generation even fucking owns anything. Yeah. We don't own anything.
No, we really don't, do we?
We don't. Oh. And you know who else made that point? Because that meme, the worst person just said something you agree with? Fucking Steve Bannon made that a talking point for the Trump campaign. Oh, you're all serfs. The fucking corporate people own stuff and you don't. And I hate him for it, but he's right. When you really look at it, I mean, not the stuff about the anti-Semitism and everything.
I was going to say, the difference is people like Bannon blame the Jews.
Exactly. We're I just want to shake these people. And Candace Owens, too, that's oh, well, why isn't insulin free? Yeah, Candace. Why isn't insulin free? Yeah. You're so fucking close. I want to eat my mic in rage. Oh. Ow. Yes. God, I am so close to transforming into something hideous. Is that even possible for me? Oh, God. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. Did you pick a low shot?
I think Apollo.
Oh, you know what? That's fair. That's fair. Just everything pisses me off.
He had help and he still lost.
There's a metaphor in there somewhere. I swear to God, there's a metaphor in there somewhere. High spot. Seth, because he's me from the future. I don't fucking know. We need to get out of here. We really need to get out of here. You know what? High spot Bianca, honestly, because she really got done dirty last week, and like nobody can deny that.
Yeah,
like,
I was actually
Paul
thinking
Emmons
about
will
giving
be-
Zelina my low shot just because, like, she literally spent the entire night just being told things she couldn't do. Like, the beginning of the night, it was, no, you can't compete for the title at SummerSlam. And then later on in the night, it was, no, you can't compete for the title. And then later on in the night, she lost. And it was like, well, back of the line.
And then Bianca physically told her, "You can't beat me." So
Yeah. So, yeah, Zelina, a very, very viable low shot. I think I'm actually going to make Apollo my honorary low shot and make Zelina my actual low shot because that, like, she got piled on tonight.
yeah, she really did, dude.
So, who's your high spot? Are you sticking with Seth?
No, you know what? I know it's weird.
He did
I
get
know it's
goaded
weird.
into a match he didn't want, so that makes sense that you wouldn't.
I know it's weird given how it ended, but you know what? Fuck it. I'm still giving my high spot to Finn Balor.
Nice.
Because you know something? Yeah, he got beat down, but it took 3 people to do it, and Roman even acknowledging him, see what I did there, with physicality? Like, he's... God damn it. He's in the mind of the champion. And, like, he squashed Corbin, cut a great promo that got the crowd on his side at the end. It was great. It was like Foster's existence in promo form. It was wonderful. And really just Finn Balor's just amazing. And again, I reiterate, you can grate meat on those abs. So he's my high spot. What about you? Who's your high spot?
That's a really good high spot. I don't know if I'm going to be able to beat that, man. I'm sorry.
Join me. Join me.
Oh, should I? I'm thinking about it.
Come on, man. We're both so beaten down. Do you really have the energy to even try anything else?
I'm thinking about it, man. I'm thinking about it. Jeez.
Ashton's like, maybe, all right? God.
Goal. Oh my God. Are you okay? Oh, Jesus Christ. I just heard your squee from my mom's computer because she has this pulled up.
Oh, it feels good to laugh.
Oh my God. Okay. I need to calm down. I need to relax. I need to breathe. I'm just going to sign on, honestly. I was thinking, honorary high spot goes to Montez Ford, but yeah, my actual high spot's going to be Finn.
Be honest, did I break your concentration with the squeeing?
No. I was actually, I had a bunch of pages pulled up with like a recap of the night, and I just didn't see anything compelling enough to make me be like, oh yeah, this person. So I'm just sticking with Finn with you.
Yeah. All right. Well, guys, this has got to be one of the most interesting reviews we've done since TWitWoW has returned to
we are
formal
closing
reviews.
in on the 2-hour point.
Holy bejesus. So, yeah, that happened. Guys, this has been Smackdown. I almost forgot. Yeah. I almost forgot the outro. Jesus Christ. This has been Smackdown.
Now.
Yeah, exactly. This has been Smackdown. This has been TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John. That's my coordinating commentary, Ashton. Guys, be sure to like the video as you file out. We have 1 dislike. I don't know who you are.
And I can't emphasize this enough. Fucker.
I don't know who you are. More importantly, I don't know who hurt you. But please seek help.
But I've got a very specific set of skills.
Oh, God.
I will find you, and I will kill you.
Yeah, so guys, like, I don't know. I feel like I'd love to one day try and explain the YouTube algorithm, but I feel like I'd explain it with the same energy and inconsistency that Mrs. Garrison explains evolution. And I would just rather not do that.
God. Oh, Jesus.
So you click the thumb thing, and it lets YouTube know, hey, they like this. Maybe we recommend this to more people. And maybe they do. Maybe they don't. I don't fucking know. Apocalypse fucked all of us. So
the thumbs up in the comments.
Do it
Let
anyway.
us know how you feel. Answer whatever questions we've asked throughout the show that we didn't already answer ourselves. And then like the video and subscribe if you haven't.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, Jesus Christ, he just did my job for me. So I guess I'll get to the description box.
No, I'm trying to
Check
rush
our
us along
Patreon.
here, if I was Taguchi and trying to get everyone to go into the corner.
Oh my God, we just got another dislike. They didn't appreciate the run process. But regardless, guys, you know what? Fuck it. He's trying to get us out of here, so am I. A lot of people are longtime listeners. Cleveland Brown, I only go through this for you because you're new and I like your face. So our description box, we have stuff in it. One thing's a Patreon. If you donate $1, you get additional Q&A questions. We do Q&As on this channel last Thursday of every month. So this month, that would be August 26th. Now, if you don't donate $1, you get 3 Q&A questions. But if you do donate that George Washington, you get 2 additional Q&A questions for a total of 5. I would recommend, though, that you just donate $3 because you get the additional Q&A questions, but you also get access to the TWitWoW Discord that I mentioned at the beginning. And because I mentioned it at the beginning and I kind of mentioned it throughout, I'm not going to really go into it here. We also do TWitWoW requests. We just did one today for Javaris. We reacted to 4 AJPW matches. If you want to see how TWitWoW requests work and how you can get your own, please check the Patreon. Long live Stan Hansen and Vader. Those guys were some fucking real ones today. So, yeah, check that out. Follow us both on Twitter. I'm at John_TwitWoW. I retweet a lot of Kyrie content because she makes me happy, and I'm honestly convinced she's the single best human being on this fucking earth.
And at the end of the day,
also,
things that make you happy are rare these days, and we need to cherish every single one of them.
You're goddamn right, you magnificent-faced bastard. So beyond that, my pinned tweet is to collect Q&A questions. Yes, all of your scintillating questions. If you're like, man, where do I deposit these? I don't want to lose it. It's okay. It's okay. Just go to my Twitter, go to the pinned tweet, and reply below with your questions. Now, Ashton's pinned tweet, on the other hand, is the TWitWoW schedule for the month. Now, I don't think you have the August schedule up yet. That's probably going to happen soon, though. So
do I really not have it up yet? I have it ready to go. I should probably just get it up.
Okay, yeah, that sounds great. If you have it ready to go, we don't have anything this weekend. So the next most immediate thing, I guess, for the Discord members would be Among Us Monday at 8. Mm-hmm. But then content-wise, would it be Tuesday for NXT? Or are we expecting a Stardom recording potentially?
I don't think. I think there's Stardom shows on the 7th, 8th, and 9th, I want to say. Let me look really quick and find out. Yeah, there's Stardom shows on the 7th, 8th, and 9th. So we could have a Stardom show on Tuesday the 10th. Possibly. But I have in the schedule, I went by the 4-day rule for everything. So I have us doing Stardom on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday next week. So our next show would be the NXT review.
All right, NXT review at 10. That's all I'm going to get into. Ashton will get the official schedule up soon. And again, guys, go to his Twitter and follow him to keep up with those Twitter updates.
I also don't have the schedule completely done. I got like halfway through, and because of all the 5-star days, I ended up just like kind of petering out.
That's okay, guys. That's another reason why, though. I encourage, just click the bell icon and subscribe. This way you can always keep up with when we go live.
I wonder how many other YouTubers make as much effort to make sure that their subscribers know exactly when they're going live and on what days, the way that we do, rather than just fucking doing it.
I know, right? We're so fucking amazing.
And really, you're so much extra effort to make sure that people know when we're going to be live, and yet we still get people like Mets being like, "Oh, hey, I thought you guys were going to be doing this," even though the schedule clearly says otherwise.
Damn, you called him out by name. Damn, we really are out of fucks to give. It's like, yeah, it's not just a general vague person. No, we know who you are.
He knows that we feel at least some degree of disdain for him, okay?
Oh my God. I mean, you're not wrong, but shit. So yeah, I guess before this gets any worse and I need to tweet at David Otunga again for completely different reasons, we'll see you on Tuesday at 10 for our NXT review. Guys, love you all. You're all beautiful. Keep doing the best you can. Keep being the people you want to be, because God knows there are plenty of trash people, and the biggest problem with them is that they're okay with being trash. Okay with people that struggle with shit, but like, seriously, do better. Talk to someone. Get help. Do introspection. Something. God. Anything. Please.
Holy shit. Please. Okay.
But like, yeah, it is really bad. The culture is really, because again, while we were doing this review, more Darby Allin stuff came out, and that was another guy that I actually somewhat kept.
Is it more Darby Allin stuff, or is it the same Darby Allin stuff just getting resurfaced?
Well, I think it's the same because I think Paul even said that earlier, but it's being brought back up because I think originally she didn't name the guy, but then tonight I think she put out something like Darby Allin abused me or whatever. So kind of oldish, but also newish because the name's now put to it, and it was his name. So
Holy
yeah,
shit.
fuck
Before we
everybody.
close out, do you want to hear the list of 52 wrestlers that WWE has released this year? Just this calendar year, literally just 2021.
Bro, I'm gonna shut up, and you were just gonna go through it, and then I'm gonna say tune in, peace out. So go.
Andrade, Lars Sullivan, Samoa Joe, both Iconics, Mickey James, Chelsea Green, Tucker, Kalisto, Mojo Rawley, Wesley Blake, Bo Dallas, Alexander Wolf, Skylar Story, aka Ava Story, aka what was her name? Brandy Lauren, that's right. Ezra Judge, Kavita Devi, Jessamine Duke, Vanessa Bourne, Velveteen Dream. Good riddance. Steve Cutler, Braun Strowman, Aleister Black, Buddy Murphy, Lana, Ruby Riott, Santana Garrett, both members of Everrise, Arya Davari, Tony Nese, Arturo Huas, Fandango, Tyler Breeze, both Singh brothers, Marina Shafir, August Gray, Kurt Stallion, Killian Dane, Bray fucking Wyatt, Asher Hale, Ari Sterling, Bobby Fish, Bronson Reed, Jake Atlas, Kona Reeves, Leon Ruff, Mercedes Martinez, and Tyler Russ. Plus those three, trainer types, Giant, Zanhir, and Stephon Smith and Zachariah Smith.
Tune in, peace out.